Kirby's Pinball Land is actually one of the first games I ever owned. I was in the department store with my brand new ice blue Game Boy Pocket. You remember that kid from the commercial? Yeah, that was me. A lot of shit happened since then. Anyway, I was allowed to pick out a game, and Kirby's Pinball Land stuck out to me for some reason. At that point, I hadn't even played the Dreamland games. Kirby's Pinball Land was not only the first Kirby spin-off game, of which there would be many, like Kirby's Avalanche and Kirby's Dream Course, but it was also the second one on the Game Boy, which means that the only games that had come out before this were the first Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby's Adventure for NES. Kirby was barely a series, and it was already getting a fucking pinball spin-off. So imagine yourself as Masahiro Sakurai in 1993. You just released Kirby's Adventure for NES and you're like, I'm done, the series is completely tapped out. It's gonna be at least 3 years until I can make Kirby Superstar. I might as well just give up on video games. And then you see that pinball episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then you get the inspiration for Kirby's Pinball Land. The story of this game is a simple one. King Dedede is a dick, so he turns all of Dreamland into a giant pinball holocaust. Kirby turns into a ball and bounces after him, instead of just, you know, flying, like he's known to do. So how do you do pinball, a game that's inherently vertical, on a square Game Boy screen? Instead of doing the whole scrolling screen thing, the game's 3 pinball tables are split up into 3 sub-tables each. The goal is to get to the top table and activate the feature for the Black Warp Star, which will transport you to the arena of the boss that table's themed after, Wispy Woods, Krakow, or the Poppy Bros. You can get higher up either with skill or just plain dumb luck, but there are features you can activate that provide a surefire way up. The nice thing about this setup is even if you go down the gutter in the top or the middle table, you still have a fighting chance to get back up. And what's better is falling down at the gutter at the bottom table isn't the end either. You remember those mini-games at the end of stages in Kirby, where you use perfect timing to launch Kirby as high as you can to get bonuses? Well, if Kirby falls down the bottom gutter, you have a split second to press the A button, and you can shoot Kirby back up to the fray. And depending on your timing, you can actually shoot him up to the top sub-table and get farther than you were before. Or if you're like me, you'll just fail miserably at everything.
Going down.
Wait, what? It's not foolproof either. Eventually the launch pad becomes too weak to shoot Kirby up and you're forced to lose a ball. Some people might think that this makes the game a little too easy, but I think it's a good offset to just how bullshit pinball and, by extension, the laws of fucking physics can be. Speaking of physics, Kirby moves exactly like you'd expect him to in this game. And by that I mean he moves like a chrome ball on a slanted wooden board. Except during boss fights, Kirby uncurls himself, and this coupled with the fact that half the boss arenas don't have walls, and they rely on that weird Pac-Man effect where you go off one side of the screen and pop in on the other, it makes Kirby feel very floaty and weird. Oh, and it's bullshit that even after you've beaten a boss, and if you don't grab the Rainbow Wand, or whatever the fuck it's called in this game, and fall down the gutter, you have to go back up and get it again. Once you've trounced all the bosses, you get to take on King Dedede in his pinball wrestling ring.
Dedede, you are asshole. I put you in camel clutch. I break your back. I make you humble. Fucking bullshit!
While King Dedede does do a lot to immobilize the flippers in this fight, he takes a long time to do it, which gives you a chance to interrupt him. And his second phase is laughably easy, and he just puffs up and follows you around the stage, pretty much causing you to knock into him on purpose.
You can't ignore my girth!
Hit Dedede enough times and you've saved the day. All the citizens of Dreamland chase after the tyrant for doing this to them, and then you're returned to the stage select screen again. So, I guess Kirby's just stuck playing pinball for eternity then? I guess it's worse for Dedede, as he's stuck being defeated by his nemesis at SummerSlam over and over and over in a pinball purgatory that he created. Wow, and you guys thought that the final boss of Kirby 64 was dark. Kirby's Pinball Land is a simple but very replayable game. It adds a few nice touches that make the pinball experience a little more bearable, in my opinion. And I'd say it's up there with Pokemon Pinball as being one of the best pinball titles on a handheld. It's available on the 3DS's Virtual Console, although it costs $4. I would think that $2 would be a more fair asking price since it's such a simple and short game. But it's great if you have a few minutes to kill. At least until they put Pokemon Pinball on there. Or Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, why aren't the Game Boy Advance games on the 3DS Virtual Console? It's fucking bullshit! What is up, guys? Junk Food King here. Thank you for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still kinda new at this, so comments and criticisms are welcome. And of course, likes, shares, and subscribes are all very much appreciated. If you like what I'm doing, consider checking out my Patreon page and maybe throwing me a buck or two. You'd be awesome if you did. If you want to see my previous review, that's the left video, and I did an animation for a podcast I co-host, Random Assault, on the right. Thanks again, I'll catch you guys soon.